Alright, Shalom. Like I say, Kahalayim, Wahawadlah, Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham, Rakakodash, double honors the apostles and elders of great millstone and rule well. Peace and blessings, the Akim will that push us through to the four corners of the earth. Right, it's Brother Yarba here. So I go through two videos, showing how the plagues in Egypt, in this modern day Egypt, which is what Mystery Babylon, right, which go back to many different versions, right, some refer to it as the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. Some refer to it as the feet of iron in the story of Nebuchadnezzar, right, the statue, right. But there's the plagues, you understand, in this modern Egypt that it's enjoying right now, and you're seeing the plagues started to increase. We saw things like the coronavirus, you understand. We saw even more plagues. Other than that, we saw things like droughts, hurricanes, many earthquakes, with the grasshoppers, and now we're just seeing more and more plagues coming out. Why? Because all of these things are the signs of the end.
Now to the hunt for the invasive species that has scientists on high alert, the so-called murder hornets arriving in the United States for the first time, and experts are warning they could decimate bee populations across the U.S. Will Reeve is joining us now from Central Park with more on this, and Will, also concerning they've been known to kill people as well.
Yes, Amy, dozens of people per year in Japan. People who have been stung by a murder hornet say it feels like hot metal driving into the skin. The hits keep coming here in 2020. The murder hornet has been spotted in the U.S. Now, as the pandemic keeps people indoors, another potential reason not to go outside in 2020, the so-called murder hornet.
The biggest ones will get just to about 2 inches.
Known as the Asian giant hornet, it can be up to 5 times larger than a honeybee. Its stinger strong enough to pierce through a beekeeping suit. Its venom can be deadly. These hornets kill dozens of people in Japan every year, and now they've been sighted in the U.S. These images taken in December in Washington state. As summer approaches, scientists are racing against the clock to track them down. Ted McFall is a beekeeper near where those first sightings happened. He says the, quote, beasts decimated his entire honeybee colony.
Never have I seen a bee slaughter in the way that this hive had been slaughtered.
And these hornets have a vicious sting. Just ask animal expert and YouTube personality Coyote Peterson, who voluntarily got stung by one in 2018 for his show Brave Wilderness.
If you can imagine getting yourself into a scenario where somehow Mike Tyson was able to take an open shot right at your jaw, that is kind of what it feels like.
Experts say if you encounter one of these large hornets, get as far away from it as you can. Experts also say that most people have nothing to worry about. The murder hornets have been spotted in extreme northwest Washington state and in British Columbia, but there is no evidence that they are anywhere else in North America. Guys?
Not yet, at least. All right.
No.
All right. Will Reeve, thank you so much. I've heard people say with this murder hornet in the heels of the coronavirus pandemic that we're just ready for this Jumanji game to be over with.
Yeah,
right
remember
now.
when we were excited about 2020?
Wow.
New Year's Eve? Not so much anymore.
Trying to get through it.
And the plagues will continue to increase. Why? Because it's just like the last exodus from Egypt. You understand, this exodus from Egypt going to be similar in the sense of it's going to have plagues that are going to hit the Egypt before we leave, and when we do leave, it's going to have a soul destruction on that land itself. Because when we left Egypt, even though they let us go, somewhat freely at start, they chased after us after. You understand? They still didn't want to give us up, and they end up having to be destroyed for it. And it's the same thing going to happen with Esau's kingdom, this new modern day Egypt. Esau not going to want to give up his power seat, and just like ancient Egypt, they will have to face a soul destruction. It will just be a lot worse. You understand? But these plagues are prophesied to happen in this modern time. He does say going and send plagues, famines, pestilence, and so forth. Stomach again, next one. Alright, this one is a video that somebody else sent for me.
A different feeling about it. As if the nightmare of our time couldn't get worse, tonight there are pictures of children on life support. Dozens of kids are showing up at hospitals in terrible shape. None of them have coronavirus, but antibody tests show almost all of them did.
This is every parent's nightmare, right?
Overnight, a 5-year-old boy died at a Manhattan hospital, and in Westchester, another child died. They're calling it pediatric multisystem inflammatory syndrome, and a wave has just arrived.
We hadn't seen any children of this type until about a week, 10 days ago, when all of us...
And what people don't understand is all these things going to increase and destruction going to increase, because what judgment is going to increase. You understand? Because the Lord visiting the earth, what to judge to judge those that dwell upon the earth, right? To try them that dwell upon the earth. All these people are doing wickedness, you know, for all these heathen nations that transgressed by doing things to us, and even a lot of our people, for the wickedness that they delight in doing, the Lord will visit them for it. You understand? And a lot of these people had to receive judgment for the things that they do, for the things that they did, and for the things that they still do. You understand? A lot of this judgment going on come in the form of what? Plagues, pestilences, some kind of tribulation.
Sutton received a cluster.
11 total cases at Westchester Medical Center alone, and at least 73 across the state. Doctors think the patients might have been exposed to the virus 4 to 6 weeks ago, likely had no symptoms then. Their immune system's now fighting something they no longer even have.
We want families and parents to be aware and to think about the risk to their children, even though it's very, very small.
Doctors are mystified by this illness, which mimics the symptoms of something called Kawasaki disease. That can include sharp abdominal pain and high fever, among other things. For a list of what to look for and what to do if you see it, head to ABC7.
And there's just a small example of things that are to come, because it's not even that close to the end yet to say, well, you know, yeah, you're seeing everything on full scale. We just still getting symptoms at the end. As I told somebody before, that things will get much worse than this, and they was like, worse than this? But these things are prophesied. Coming closer to the end is the worst things will get, and you see how bad things are right now. You understand? But all these signs show that what? We are close to the end. And people have their belief on, you know, whether coronavirus is an actual virus circulating, if it's caused by 5G. All these different views people have. I can't say exactly which one it is, but we know ultimately it's the Lord that doing these things, right? Because these things are prophesied that it will happen, and whether the Lord doing it directly or he doing it through Esau or whatever means he using to actually bring it across, we know ultimately it is him that control all these things. And that is why it's so important to make sure you're doing the things that the Lord delights in, so that you'll be able to escape the destruction. You understand? With all these different things, as long as you're watching the media, you're watching majority of the time not normal news but alternative news, you get a lot of information, and you'll see a lot of things going on around the world that not being broadcast on a normal basis, and it just getting worse as time go by. And this is things that the elect want to happen. Why? Because the faster this place is destroyed, it's the faster we could get out of here. Even though it mightn't be the easiest thing to go through, we know for our kingdom to rise, this one must fall. And you help us edify. With that, I say shalom.